Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to cut this beautiful style you are watching on the screen. This style you are watching on the screen is a princess bustier gown, ball gown dress. So I'll be showing you in details of how I cut it from beginning to the end. So if you are interested in this kind of tutorial, continue watching. Without wasting much of our time, let's get into the tutorial in details right now. So here is the net material I'll be using. This net material you are watching on the screen right now is 4 yards of net. I bought 4 yards of vein net, but the net have a little bit of design. So this net now, I already fold the net, and here is the tapeter I'll be using for the down part of the net. Then I'll be using lining to turn it again. And here is my Ankara fabric that we're going to be using to cut the princess bustier, the back and the front, and then the sleeve as well. So this is it. So let's get into the tutorial right now. The length we are working with is the length of 39, I think 39 or so. So now to cut this our net, now I'm going to remove the person half length from the measurement, which is 14.5. The person half length is 14.5, so I'm going to remove it from the person length measurement. So the length we are working with is 40, right? This is 40 here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. I'll cut it out. Then I'm going to cut another one. I'm going to be cutting it twice. I'll be cutting it two. I'll be cutting two of it. But before that, I'm trying to arrange it before I cut it. So before that, let me cut the tapeter that we are using for the underline of the net material. So the tapeter I bought 2 yards of tapeter, right? Yes, I bought 2 yards of the tapeter. Now to cut the down part of this fabric, you will need to minus 2 inches from the lining so that the lining and the net will not be the same. So that the lining and the net will not be the same. So I'll be cutting the lining two. I'll be cutting two of the lining, then I'll be joining it together to pleat it at the waistline. So that is that about that. So back to the one I cut earlier. Back to it, I said I'll be cutting two pieces of it. So I just want to place this on top of this, the second one, then I'll be cutting it out. So these two now is what I'll be pleating to give me my waist circumference, and my waist circumference is 29. So I'll be using that to pleat. So before I cut the back and the princess bustier, I'll be cutting the back of this our princess bustier. I'll first cut out the back, and to cut the back I already removed 15 inches. I had half inches to the half length measurement for sewing allowance. So what I'm marking out right now is the person, um and I fold the fabric into two. Can you see? I just refold it so that you'll be able to see what I fold there. So I just fold the fabric into two. Just fold your fabric into two and mark 1 inches for your zipper allowance. Mark 1 inches out for your zip allowance. So after you are done marking your zip allowance, that is when you will now start taking all the necessary measures. The person half length measurement is 14.5. Then I had 1 inches extra to the person length measurement. This 1 inches, I'm going to be sharing it into half half. I'm still going to join something at the down part of this our half length. So I will be using half inch to join at the down part, then I'll be using half inches to join the shoulder together. So that's why you have to add at least 1 inches to your half length measurement, so that by the time you sew it, it will not be short. You understand? so that it will not be too short. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to measure the person's shoulder measurement. The person's shoulder measurement is 14. 14 divided by 2 will give us 7. 14 divided by 2 will give us 7. Then you are going to add half of an inch to the person's shoulder measurement. This half inch you are adding is for the sewing allowance. You know you'll be joining the sleeve with the shoulder. So if you use the 17, the shoulder might be short. You understand? So anything I use for the shoulder is what I always use for my armhole circumference. So now I just mark out 7.5 at the shoulder, then I mark it at this part as well. You understand? So 7.5 here, 7.5 at this place. Then exactly this place that I measure my 7.5, I'm going to measure it back here as well. Can you see that? So I'll go ahead and connect this line together. I'll just connect it like this. I'll connect the two lines together. Then after connecting it like this, the next thing I'm going to do is to measure out the person bust measurement. Our bust is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give us 9 plus 2-inch sewing allowance. Yes. And I'll come to the waistline and measure the person waist measurement. Our waist measurement is 29. 29 divided by 4, whatever it give you, plus 2-inch sewing allowance. Then we are going to go ahead and connect these two lines together from the chest line to the waistline, to the waist measurement. You connect it together. Then for the neckline, depending on the neck you are working with, I'll be using, for the neckline, I'll be using 3.5 here. So I mark 3.5 at this part. Then I'm going to be using 7 inches here. So for the wideness is 3.5, while for the depth is 7 inches. So it's 3.5 by 7 for the neckline of the back. I use 3.5 by 7. So you can decide to use your French curve to do the neckline, and you can decide to use your free hand to do justice to that. And decide to use your free hand to do justice to that. So after we are done with this, the next thing we are going to do is to do the shoulder slope. So for the shoulder slope, I will be using 1/2 inch and 1/4 for the shoulder slope. I'll be using 1/2 inch and 1/4. Can you see that? So I just connect it. Then let me cut it out now. Initially, I supposed to first do the armhole circumference, but I forgot. So it was when I get to the shoulder slope that I remember that I've not do the armhole circumference. So I'm going to do that right now. So for the armhole circumference, I will just, this is, we have 7.5 here. So I'm just going to divide 7.5 into 2. Whatever it give me, I'll mark it out at this part. Yes, whatever it give me, I'll just mark it out here. Then I'll come in with 1/2 of an inch. So I just come in with 1/2 of an inch. Then I'm going to just connect it with my French cuff. If you don't have French cuff, you don't need to panic. Just use your hand, your free hand to do that. Just use your free hand to do that. So I'm just trying to place my French cuff very well on it. Just trying to place my French cuff nicely. Can you see that? So I'm going to go ahead now and cut it out. Can you see that? So I'll cut the zipper place as well. So we are done with the back body. So that is that about the back body. I hope you get it at least to that point. I hope you get it to that point. So now the next thing I'm going to do before we cut the princess bustier, before we cut our princess bustier, this piece that I have here, this is what I'll be using to cut my cap sleeve because the style we make is a very simple gown with a cap sleeve. So for the cap sleeve, I'll be using 7 by 6, 7 for the wideness, then 6 for the sleeve length, 7 on fold. Please don't forget the 7 for the wideness is going to be on fold. So that will give you 14 when you open it. So 7 on fold by 6 inches for the sleeve length. And this is how to cut your cap sleeve. Can you see the way I cut it? So that's how you're going to cut your cap sleeve. It's very, very simple. Then I'll be using lining. I'll be cutting lining to turn it in just like this because I want it to look so perfect. So we are done with the sleeve and the back. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut our princess bustier now. We're going to be cutting the princess bustier. So if you have difficulty in cutting your princess bustier, I will advise you to take your time and watch this tutorial carefully because I'll be using the very simple method for us to get it right. You get what I'm saying? So we are going to be using the same length we use for the front, for the back body, which is 14.5 plus 1 inches, 14.5 plus 1 inches. That is what we are going to be using for the length measurement. And to cut out this, what I cut out, how do I get what I cut out? How do I get it? I use the bust measurement plus 5 inches. The bust measurement on fold plus 5 inches. That is what I use to cut these pieces you are watching on the screen right now. That is what I use to cut it out. So now here's our princess bustier. This is our fabric right now, right? So the next thing we are going to do now is for all the necessary measurements that we need. Wash this carefully so that by the time you want to make your own, it will be super easy. Like what I mean is fold your fabric into two like this, then measure your. So this is what I have. We said the person half length is 14.5, right? This is 14.5 here plus 1 inches. Now I have more than 1 inches here. I'm going to cut that out later. I'll be cutting that out because I need just 1 inches for the sewing allowance, and that is it. So I'll be using half inches to join the body, to join it with the down part. Then I'll be using half inches to join the shoulder so that by the time I sew it finish, I will have my 14.5 ready. I will have my 14.5 ready. So we are going to measure how the person bust point. Our bust point is 10. Our bust point is 10. Our under bust is 13. While our half length is 14.5, which is what we have here. So I'm going to be using all the fabric here. So no need to mark out the half length again. So I'm going to use my ruler and rule this out. Can you see that? So after you are done ruling it out like this, the next thing you need to measure now is the person nipple to nipple. The person nipple to nipple. So now my nipple to nipple is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 will give me 3.5 1/4. Then I'm going to add half of an inch to the person, to the bust point. You know you are still going to be joining both sides together. So you need to add the joining allowance to it. So and the joining allowance is just half of an inch. So now I'll be marking out 4 1/4 because 7.5 1/4 is my initial bust measurement. Bust nipple to nipple rather plus half of an inch. That will give me 4 1/4. That will give me 4 1/4. So I'll be marking 4 1/4 at the waistline. I'll be marking 4 1/4 at the half length and also at the under bust. So after marking, I'll mark it a little bit here. Then I'll use my ruler to rule it out just the way I'm doing it. After you are done marking your nipple to nipple, just take your chalk and your ruler and just mark it as shown. Can you see that? Just mark it out like this. Then come to this side, the side body of your dress, the opening side. Yes, mark 1.5 there. Come to the center part, mark 1 inches there. Come to the under bust area, mark the same thing with this side. Then take your ruler and rule it out. Take your ruler and rule it out. So this is what we have right now. After you are done with this, the next thing we need to do is to take your I'm trying to place it very well so that you guys will be able to so that I'll be able to understand what I'm doing. So take your ruler and just rule it out like this, just the way I'm doing it. Just do it like this. Can you see? I'm trying to do it so that the chalk will show very well, so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing carefully, clearly. So after you are done with this, you move to the center part as well, just the same way we did for the side. You are going to repeat it here as well. Can you see that? So you are going to have this. You are going to have what I have here right now. Then, so just leave that side and move to the shoulder measurement. Measure the shoulder plus your half-inch sewing allowance, the shoulder measurement plus your half-inch sewing allowance. So anything I use for the shoulder, that's what I always use for my armhole circumference. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the same thing at this exact point. Then I will use my ruler and mark it out. I'll use my ruler and mark it out. This is where now I want you to watch this carefully, because this is where many people have problem. This is where problem is. Like, this is where it looks like it's very hard, but it's not hard. So I would like you to watch this place carefully. Like, I mean it. Watch it carefully so that you will not have any difficulty in making it. Now, to make this particular place, we have different method. Like, we have different method of doing it. But this method I'll be showing you today, I'm telling you, is a very nice method that by the time you make your own, you will definitely love it. So what you are going to do now, where here we have 7.5, right? We have 7.5 at this place. So what you are going to do is that you are going to come down with 6 inches. So like I was saying, what you are going to do is that you are going to come down with 6 inches. Initially, I want to come down with 5 inches. That's why I mark 5 here at first. But coming down with 5 inches, it's okay, but I will advise you come down with 6 inches. So I just come down with 6 inches here. So after you come down with 6 inches, then you go up again with 1 inches. Just the way I did it, just follow this. Then you go up again with 1 inches. After you are done with that, I want to explain again. You first come down with 6 inches, then you go up with 1 inches. Just mark those two lines, mark it out. Then place your French cuff. Place your French cuff. You know, we already, with this one that we already make, just connect it together. Yes, connect this together like this to your 6 inches. Connect it together. Then place it again, connect it to your 5, the 1 inches that will come down. Connect both, making 2, right? Now, to this place that you measure 6, right? This place that you measure 6, come outside with 1.5. The reason why you are coming outside with 1.5 is because if we decide to just do our hammock off here and we just cut it, by the time you are joining it, it will not be the same. It will be shorter. So you need to come out a little bit. Yes, come out like this with just 1.5 inches or 1 inches. Come out with 1.5 inches or 1 inches at this place. Then after coming out like this, before you do your armhole circumference, then first measure out the person chest measurement with your sewing allowance of 2 inches. Come here, measure the person waist measurements plus your 2 inch sewing allowance. Then measure what you have here. What do you remove here? 2.5 at this place. We use 1.5 plus 1 inches. Return the 2.5 back. Yes, return it back so that for your measurement to be complete, then this is what we have, right? After you take your normal body measurement. So after that, connect. Just see the way I place my French cuff here. Can you see the way I place my French cuff? Just this way. Connect it to your, yes. So this is the one we are going to cut out now. We are not cutting the other one. Just connect this one. Just watch how I'm going to cut it. Initially, this is the one we suppose. This is how we're supposed to cut our ham, but we are not cutting it like this. That's why I just struck that. We are not cutting it like this. We are cutting it the first way. You understand? We are cutting it the other way around now. So we are going to start cutting it out. So let's cut it out. Just to watch how I'm going to cut it. I believe you are going to understand it. Yes, just cut it. Can you see that? Just cut it first, then at this point, yes, this place, cut your side bustier out here. Can you see what we have? Put that aside. Then at this part, cut this out. This one that you are cutting, you don't need it. You are going to throw this away. So you are going to cut this out as well. I hope you are getting this tutorial. If there is anything you don't understand in this tutorial, don't hesitate to ask any question. Ask question. I always tell my students that anytime I'm teaching you something, always ask question. Anything you don't understand, ask and I will answer you. So I'm just marking out the bad side of the fabric. Here's the good face. So I'm just marking the back side of the fabric out. So after you are done cutting it like this, the next thing we are going to do is to cut out the wording. You are going to cut the wording. But before that, I want to show you something before that. I will use pin. Just carry my pin and I will use pin to just pin it together just to show you how it's going to look like after you sew it together. You know, as it is now, I have not put anything inside. I've not put any wording. I've not put I've not put any wording or any hairstay. As it is, just the fabric. I just want to pin the fabric for you to see how it's going to look like after you sew it together. I'm almost done. Sorry for that. I'm almost done. Now, this is it. This is how it's going to look like after you sew it. Now, I have not put the body inside and I have not put anything. So, can you see at this armhole side, it aligns together because of the 1.5 inches that I had. It aligned at this place. That's why you need to add something at that part so that it will not be shorter by the time you cut it. That's what I was trying to explain earlier when I was shocking it out. So that is that about that. Let's cut the body out now. So for this bustier that we cut, I'll be using hard stay. That is the medium stay. To cut your body, place your fabric, leave 2 inches at the down part, then cut it and mark 8 inches from up. Stop at 8 inches. That is what I did here. I from the shoulder I leave 8 inches. Then from the down part I leave 2 inches. I just want to place it for you to see it. I just want to place it and show you. Can you see what I mean? So from the shoulder here, from the upper part I leave 8 inches, and from the down part I leave 2 inches. So I just use the remaining one to cut the this thing out. So for the side, because I'm managing the wadi, I supposed to cut the two sides together. You understand? Can you see? So just place your fabric on, just, can you see the way I'm doing it? So just this way, I'm going to cut it out. This is how I cut my wadi. Then I'm not done cutting it too. Don't worry, I'll show you. I'm not done cutting the order. I'm just trying to place it for you to see the 2 inches that I leave, and here it must align. It must align. So I'm just trying to find how I'm going to cut the second piece of the wording. So I already cut the second piece. This is it. So I'll be showing you how you are going to. So I already cut a ear stay, and I already gum my hair stay with the Ankara fabric. So I'll be showing you how I'm going to sew it in the sewing tutorial. See you guys in the sewing tutorial. Anyways, after sewing it, this is how it looks like. I'll be showing you how I sew it. Thanks so much for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like this video so that YouTube will be able to show more people this video, more this tutorial. And I'll be doing another tutorial of how I make this facilitator. If you want to see how I made this facilitator, comment it in the comment section, then I'll drop the tutorial here for you guys. Thank you so much for watching my channel. God bless you. See you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.